this little video, I'm going to show how to take a basic HTML document that I have right here and put it into WordPress. And you can see that I have a directory called HTML. And we want to install WordPress right here first, and then actually make a theme for it. The first step, what I like to do is I like to SSH into the server to install WordPress. And I actually wrote a little script for this. Depending on your server, this wouldn't always work. I make sure that I cd into public HTML first, download WordPress, remove the files I don't need, move the files into the right place, etc. While that's loading, I can actually go over, create my databases. Just going to copy this. And you can see I already have WordPress. Now I have WordPress. I'm going to go back to public HTML. I'm going to refresh this. And now run and install. Now with your username, you never want to make it admin. That's really the only rule that I have. And that's just because it can be easily duplicated. And because the dev site, I don't allow citations. So I install WordPress. Now I'm going to have to log in. Cool. I'm now within WordPress, and we have WordPress installed. Now, with this being said, we now need to build our little HTML or our WordPress theme. So we're going to open up themes. We can literally drag your HTML into here. I'm going to call it Dan Bazarian, which is the theme name. And we're going to have to actually, what I can do is instead of doing that, I'm going to create another file called HTML. And I'm going to move all these files within here. And then I'm going to transfer everything just one by one. So the first thing it needs to even get started is your style.css. Now, to know how to do this, just look at like WordPress's like default things, and you can see they have it right in here. Now this is where you actually get to name your theme. So I like to year them just in case, because down the line we don't have this because it's not going to be on a marketplace. It's a custom theme. I'm going to give myself some credit. We can remove this. All this other stuff really doesn't matter. And we're going to go into our themes. And it looks like we're a broken theme, but at least it's seeing that it's on there. So the first thing it needs to get is an index file. And we should have fixed it. And you can see that we're now in here. Now when we go to this, it's going to be just a blank page. But now what we can do is, first of all, I need to make a functions.php, but now we're going to actually build everything within here. Functions.php is where all the magic happens behind the work. So everything that, like generating your CSS, JS, all your functions, etc. So we want to now take our HTML from here, copy this into index.php, and we're going to get this, but then none of the assets are going to work. And now the reason why none of the assets are going to work is because it's looking for them within here, but obviously it's not going to find them. So we have to make it so they can find it. So I'm going to make a few assets folders. So I'm going to do an a JS, and then a CSS folder. And I'm going to copy in all the CSS that is like important. For the dan.css, I'm actually just going to copy this straight into style.css. Take this, put it there. We can actually put this in here. We're not going to use it, but just so we're all good to go. And put some JS here. And it looks like the rest are just images, so let's make a folder called for images. Alright, cool. Now we're going to look at this, and we need two more files. We're going to need a header and a footer. So header.php. We're going to make a footer.php. And now we pretty much just copy and paste what we need. So within here, so we're going to take the bottom of everything. Now looks like the HTML tag's missing. Now the important thing about this is we need to include WP footer. Now, WP footer is a function that puts all the assets that WordPress gives. So when we refresh this, we'll actually see a bit more stuff up here at the bottom if we do it correctly, of course. So if there's ever a time where you forget, you can always look at these and yeah, it looks like WP footer is correct. So we can just see why that doesn't work in a second. But in the meantime, we'll do the header.php. Now header, of course, want to include the head. But we most likely want to do the navigation bar as well. Now we're going to save this. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. What we have to do is we now have to call header. So we're going to do get header. Copy this. And this one is going to be get footer. Now, if done correctly, you'll see a bar. Cool. Yeah. So you can see that WordPress adds a bunch of WordPress stuff, like the admin bar, random little things over here, etc. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to build these scripts into WordPress, into our functions. So I'm just going to copy this for reference. Now WordPress has like this thing called enqueue scripts, and enqueue scripts is a really nice little tool. I like to just copy this and then work my way around it. And we don't want to have a space up here, so we want to get rid of that. But our main style sheet, we're going to do main right there. We're going to do our, I'm going to call this Dan for our JS. This gets the directory. And we're going to actually just call each one of these that we need. And that actually needs to go at the end. You can see like this order. So the first thing we can do is we can do our Google Maps. With this, we don't need the beginning of it, the HTTP or HTTPS. And I usually like to change the version number for caching reasons down the line. We're going to include the CDN of jQuery. Now the advantage of doing this is that if we need to overwrite a JS file or maybe make sure that it's included later, we could, and it won't be overwritten. You won't include the same file twice. There's many good reasons. Usually for Bootstrap, I like to include the CDN version of this, but for now we're just going to do this.